Thanks so much for coming this afternoon. And together we're going to expand our awareness and improve your intuitive skills. I've been communicating with Spirit for over 40 years, and I've gotten pretty used to walking with one foot in both worlds. And in the process of doing that, I've learned that everything I do is my spiritual work. There is no difference between your corporate life and your spiritual life. You should practice the same peaceful, loving, respectful qualities in all things that you do, and be the carrier of those qualities everywhere you go, which will uplift and inspire others around you to do the same thing. Part of my path to Spirit involves taking people to vortex and portal sites in the Mount Shasta area. And there I lead them on guided meditations to connect with the powerful energy of the mountain and with themselves, to commune with Spirit and learn more about who they are. Transformational healing, raising our frequency, channeling, and whatever Spirit has in mind for us that day happens at those sacred sites. And in doing that, I've learned a lot about myself, as well as about my incredible clients who come to me from all around the world. And I love sharing what I know with people. So the books I've written come from Spirit. They're channeled books, and they help you to learn more about walking a spiritual path, too. The first book I wrote is this one, the green one. In 2007, Thoth the Atlantean appeared in my meditation and asked me to rewrite the Emerald Tablets for the 21st century reader, because its message was just as important now as it was 20,000 years ago when he gave the 12 Emerald Tablets to the Egyptians. At that time, well, before that, Thoth was king priest of Atlantis, and when Atlantis was destroyed, he went over to Egypt and became king priest there. And also, he is the one who built the Great Pyramid. Egypt actually was called Kem at that time, K-H-E-M. And years after Thoth's reign in Kem, he was asked by this group of beings called the Others to give the Emerald Tablets to the Egyptians because they had lost their way. They had forgotten who they were. And in 1925, Marcel Doreal wrote the first English translation of the tablets, which was published in 1930, and that book is called The Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. Thoth and I edited that book together to make it easier to read. And we also wrote new chapter introductions and created a 12-page glossary, which helps you to understand some of the strange terms that are used in that book. And it is called The Emerald Tablets for 2012 and Beyond. In 2005, my second book, Adama, who is the spokesperson between the city of Telos beneath Mount Shasta and those who live on the surface of Earth, he came to me in meditation and asked me, he said, bring the people to me. And when I asked him exactly what that meant, he wanted me to lead guided meditations into the city of Telos on the tours that I take on the mountain. So I've been doing that since 2005 and continue to do so to this day. In this book, Adama writes about the ancient continent of Lemuria because he lived there too, as well as myself. He talks about the city of Telos and how to walk the spiritual path in a kind and loving way. Many of his personal experiences throughout his many lifetimes and his knowledge about interdimensional communications are also written about in that book. That's called Adama Discourses, Walking the Light Path with Intention and Purpose. Once that book was completed, I started my third book. And that one is a compilation of over 200 poems and stories that I've received by listening to the nature spirits over the last 25 years. And I knew it was finally time for me to put it all together and call it a book. It too is about spiritual growth, expanding your awareness, your oneness with all things, and how important it is to communicate and work with all sentient beings on this planet and beyond. It is called "And the Earth Spoke: True Stories to Inspire and Awaken," as told by the sentient earth beings to Ashelin. I'm now channeling my fourth book with Maitreya, who I will channel toward the end of this presentation. One thing that's really important to me in all the work that I do is that I only talk about what I know to be true. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and I don't want to be a part of that. So before I do any spiritual work, I raise my vibrational frequency to help me connect with the highest frequency beings and information. And the way I do that is by surrounding myself in a sacred sphere of golden white light that touches every cell in your physical and your energy body, raising your frequency. And if you want to try that, feel free to do so. You may begin to feel the energy shift as you become one with that golden light. We'll do that more later as I lead my guided meditation. In order to help the people I work with to understand what's true and what's not, I teach them a few discernment methods. And I also use those methods daily. I've been channeling Saint Germain since about 1980, and recently he told me, if you aren't able to discern the truth from a lie, you are lost in a sea of maybes. Is that where you need to be? Lost in a sea of maybes? No. Okay, so we're going to learn some discernment skills. Before I teach you, I want to let you know that before you do any of this kind of discernment stuff, you need to be grounded in your body and in a neutral frame of mind. And by neutral, I mean, I don't care what the truth is. I don't care what the answer is. I just want to know what the truth is, okay? If you're emotionally upset, your emotions can influence the answer. Also, you shouldn't do discernment like this when you're sick, exhausted, or influenced by any outside substance, which includes some prescription medications, because it's harder to get clear answers. And also, if you have really strong beliefs about something and aren't ready to explore new ways of looking at life, you probably won't get clear answers if you ask about someone who's doing something that doesn't fit into your present paradigm, like myself. If you're rigid and inflexible, these won't work for you. So open your mind and relax. And here we go with the discernment skills. I'm going to start with the pendulum. I prefer a metal pendulum myself, so find a pendulum that works for you. And I like to hold my fist like this underneath the pendulum to give it a foundation upon which to rest, is what I'm told. And start at neutral. And then I ask my pendulum, if you've got a pendulum, go ahead and bring it out, to give me a no answer. And that's my no answer, back and forth. And then I bring it back to neutral and ask my pendulum to give me a yes answer. And for me, a yes answer is a circle. Now, sometimes when I work with people, their circles are just so tiny you can barely discern that they are circles. That's usually someone who's not used to having a lot of cosmic energy running through their system. Another tool I use regularly is the dowsing rods, and these are made of brass. You want to start in a neutral position, and I'll ask, give me a yes answer. And I know my yes answer is like that. Bring it back to neutral, give me a no answer, and that's my no answer. This is different for different people. Now, I use my dowsing rods to measure the outer edge of someone's aura just before we do our tours. And then at the end of the tour, I measure their aura again, and it's usually expanded at least 3 times, and sometimes 7 times, depending on how much of the good mountain energy they've absorbed. Now, some people cannot use either of these 2 methods. They just don't work for them, because my theory is that they're not used to having cosmic energy flowing through their bodies, and that's what makes these tools work. Another simple technique is using your body as a pendulum. So why don't you stand up right now, and we'll all use our body as a pendulum. You want to get relaxed, and you don't want to be stiff and rigid, be really relaxed, flow with the flow. And now in your mind, ask your body to give you a yes answer, and notice which direction it moves. My yes is forward, and once you get yes, ask for a no, which is backward to me. Sometimes you go sideways, or sometimes you spin a little bit. Is that working for everybody in the room? Great. It doesn't matter what it is. It just matters that it's yours. And when you're asking what's yes and what's no, I want you to trust that it's going to be like that for the rest of your life. Don't think every time you have to get an answer, you got to ask your body again what yes and no is. You can go ahead and sit down now. Another thing you can do with your body is called kinesiology, and I like to do it with my fingers, because that way I don't need another person to push my arm down like that. So put your middle finger and your thumb together, and then make a chain out of them, and just lightly pull. And now you ask your body to give you a yes answer, and you pull, and your fingers will either stay together or they'll come apart. Once you got your yes answer, ask for a no. My no is apart. Okay? Some people prefer this method, where you do a little circle with your left hand and put 2 fingers in the middle, and you ask for yes and no. And then some people do it like this, but I haven't yet figured that one out. That one doesn't work for me. So I like this so much, I use it all the time. In fact, sometimes by the end of the day, all I get is no answers. And then I ask, I call it finger wisdom. Is my finger wisdom even working? Okay. That's my guides, my spirit guides' way of saying, okay, you've done enough work for one day, chill out, no more answers. So you use those discernment skills often. In fact, I want you to use them throughout my talk to see if I'm telling you the truth, all right? This is my truth. Maybe it's not yours. So a lot of times my clients ask me, well, I always ask them what their intention is for the tour as we're driving up the mountain. And many of them ask me, what is my life purpose? And sometimes I can help them discover that, and sometimes they're not ready to hear the answer. And that's because they're either emotionally, physically, spiritually, or mentally out of balance. And they need to work on finding that balance before they know what their life purpose is. So I always encourage everyone to do their own personal healing work, no matter what that looks like. And once you bring yourself back into that place of balance, your head clears, your mood changes, your enthusiasm for life returns, and you begin to remember what you love to do. Then your passion returns, and that's how you connect with your life purpose. Because your life purpose is to do what you love to do. Some people's life purpose is as simple as sharing the tremendous love that just naturally exudes from them with everyone around them. Now, that may seem like a small thing to do, but to me, that's incredible work, because that's the way we're going to heal this world, is by sharing love with everyone. My life purpose is to help bring more peace on the planet. And one way that I do that is I help people remember who they are. And I help them get beyond any fears or misconceptions that they have that are preventing them from doing that. And in a minute, I'll show you some of the things I've learned about myself and my clients on my tours, with the hopes of encouraging you to look inside of yourself and find more interesting things out about you. And finding great things out about yourself is not about boosting your ego. We all have our own unique skills and talents, and learning about your uniqueness helps you to learn more about who you are, so you can stand tall in your power and do what you came here to do. One thing that will help you on that exploration is to know how to see, hear, and feel messages from Spirit. So right now I'm going to teach you a few intuitive skills that I've used for over 30 years, and give them a try and see if they work for you. It's obviously not the only way to do it, but check it out, see if it works. Some of you may already know how to use those skills. Just go along with the program and see if you learn something new. Okay, and I do this on all my sessions, my individual sessions and on my guided tours. I also teach people how to recognize and become one with their higher self, which is that part of you that is spirit, that knows everything about you, that needs to become your very best friend, someone you communicate with on a regular basis. All right. So let's all, you can close your eyes and surround yourself in that sacred sphere of golden white light. And that light goes around and through your body, touching every cell, raising your frequency. And the first thing I always do is make sure I'm well grounded. So the grounding cord I use starts at your first chakra. So put your attention point at the base of your first chakra. And from that point, I want you to reach out with your mind's eye and draw or create a grounding cord of light that's as wide as your hips. And it goes all the way into the center of the earth. Now, it takes no effort. It's sort of like painting with your mind's eye. And you can get to the center of the earth as quickly as you can think about it, since there is no time or space in this dimension that we're working in. It's good to have that grounding cord on all the time to help balance out the body and help you to feel more real in your skin. Now bring your attention point back up to the center of your head, and that's the best place for your attention point to rest most of the time, except when you're doing spiritual work, and then the attention point moves around a little from place to place. Now I'd like you, from the center of your head, to focus on what I call your viewing screen, that place out in front of your eyes and nose where you see pictures and colors when you're dreaming and meditating. So get out your cosmic window cleaner and cloth and wipe that screen clear of any old stuck energy or fear. Once again, it takes no effort. I always say the harder you do these spiritual things, the more you push them away. So relax, surrender, and allow that screen to be cleared and brought into this present moment. And in a minute, we're going to ask for something to appear on that screen, and I want you to trust your first intuitive sense. I like to say there is no doubt allowed on my journeys, especially when we're in this high-frequency golden space, because when you doubt things, you close those doors that we're just about to open, and today we're here to open doors and walk right through them. So now ask for a rose to appear on your screen, and notice how that rose shows to you. Itself to you. It may be really, really clear. It may be a little on the cloudy side. Notice what color it is and how wide open it is. Some people may just see color on their screen. That viewing screen, the background color is normally black. So if you're seeing any color on that screen, that means you're clairvoyant. So this is a way I help my clients realize how easy it is to be clairvoyant. Occasionally someone will be stuck on something and I'll work on them, but I don't have time to do that right at the moment. So you can thank that rose for showing up and just allow it to dissolve. And now we're going to ask for your higher self to show his or herself to you in whatever way you can best receive them. They may come to you as a picture, a color, or a symbol on your viewing screen. Maybe you'll sense their presence standing next to you, or feel their energy inside your body. Maybe you'll hear their thoughts in your head, because that's the way spirit communicates, is by thoughts. Just notice how the energy shifts when you ask for the higher self to show themselves to you, and raise your hand briefly once you've connected with that. Once again, trusting your first intuitive sense. So thank your higher self for showing up and send her your love. And now I would like you to ask her, is her or him, are you willing to become one with me at this time? And raise your hand if the answer is yes. If the answer is no, know that you can do that some other time. And now invite your higher self to become one with you. And notice what area of your body it's coming into first. And with your intention, open up every single cell in your body to receive that energy, that light, that wisdom, all the truth that you know about yourself. And welcome her home. And notice what it feels like to have that energy in your space. I usually ask people to give me descriptive words about that, but I will tell you some of the words I get. You feel more centered, more grounded, at home, lighter, more joyful, those kind of things. Now you see how easy that was to become one with your higher self? Now, not only do I want her to become one with you, but I want her to fill up your entire body. Quite often when the higher self says, yeah, I'm already one with you, they are hanging out in your head and your shoulders and your heart. Pull that energy all the way down to the very bottom of your feet and just feel it in your whole body. Now the higher self energy is bigger than your body, so it's going to be exuding its energy and light outside of you. Now this is what I call owning your space. And when you're owning your space, it's more difficult for you to be influenced by other people's energy and allow them to knock you off balance, which does happen from time to time. You also have more immediate access to all that you already are. When you're not owning your space, it's like you're walking around half empty and you're more vulnerable. It's maybe more difficult to connect with your higher self. So the higher self is always connected to the physical body with the silver cord of light that attaches to your body just below your navel. So since it is spirit, it can come and go whenever it wants, and it does usually leave during dream time. So you need to invite your higher self to become one with you every single day. What works best for me is early in the morning before I even get out of bed. I do this slow process. Sometimes I chat with her for a minute. Sometimes I just get up and do my thing. So invite your higher self to become one with you every day for a while and see the difference that it makes in your life. So you can go ahead and open your eyes and just sit there and be fully present with that awesome spirit that you are. Now you know how to recognize your higher self, right? You know what it looks like, feels like, what the voice sounds like, whatever. That's how you will know you are communicating with your higher self in the future, which is one thing that my people have a hard time with is, how can I trust it's really my higher self? Well, now you know. Okay, some of the interesting things I've learned about myself and clients. Some of them come to me and they don't know who they are. Some of them do know who they are. And for those who are ready, I introduce them to their galactic self. And to me, that's the expansive part of you that's able to touch and experience the stars, the planets in this galaxy and beyond, which is where many of you came from, right? So some of what I am about to say may seem a little out there to those who haven't had similar experiences, but what I'm about to share, I know to be true. Why? How? Because I checked it with my intuitive sources. I trust the spirits that speak through me. So, once again, use your discernment skills to prove it to yourself. One of my incredible clients, when Spirit tells me something incredible about the person that I'm working with, I always verify it to make sure it's true. If my higher self or the masters told me about it, I always trust them because I've learned that they don't want to waste time telling me anything but the truth. If it came from my client, that information, I always question them and say, well, how do you know? Blah, blah, blah. Until I and them both realize it is actually true. So, one of my tour guides or guests wanted me to help her learn her life purpose. And the more I got to know her, the more I began to understand that she was a pretty incredible being. She was on a journey to visit as many sacred sites all around the world as she could because she felt she had to experience everything on earth. And she says, I can literally feel what every leaf on every tree is feeling and much more. Okay, how many of you can say that? So shortly after that, I channeled a Dhamma for her, and he called her the Grande Dame of the universe. Okay? That means she's pretty big, expansive. And that's one of the reasons why she felt she had to touch everything on earth. Perhaps to help bring it back to balance, give it more energy, charge herself. So, number 2, several months later, my client and I were working with the nature spirits who live inside of the earth. And they introduced us to someone they said is the Grande Dame of the underworld. Hey, there's one above, one below. My life is never dull. Number 3. I know that Earth was created by many different creator deities or gods, which I wrote more about in detail in Dhamma Discourses. Actually, Dhamma wrote it. I can't claim that any of that information is mine. And that was my goal, to make it all his work, not mine. So when I was in a session, I was told one of my clients was a creator goddess. And shortly after that, she said, with her eyes closed, I follow the galactic pathways. And energetically, I saw those galactic pathways, and she certainly was following them. Then Saint Germain appeared and took her inside of the earth, where he showed her several things she could do with her unique skills to heal the earth. He gave her several assignments, each of which she completed in seconds. I've never, ever seen anybody do healing work that quickly. This woman's got the power. Okay. In 2014, I went on a tour with a man from Singapore and his girlfriend. I'll call him Eric. And on our drive up the mountain, we stopped to take pictures of the mountain. And Eric brought my attention to a huge cloud on top of the mountain, which, by the way, was not a lenticular, just a regular big cloud. And he said, there's a ship up there. As I tuned in, he certainly was right. There was a spaceship in that cloud. And so the three of us leaned up against the front of my car and focused on what was happening inside of that ship. Each one of us silently had our own powerful experiences with the ship's inhabitants. We received downloads, healing, frequency adjustments, information, and who knows what else. And I have no idea how long we were there. When we were all complete, I drove them to a vortex. And all we could do there was lie flat on our backs on the ground to integrate all that powerful energy we received. We couldn't even sit up. I lost my place. Okay. So in all the meditations I've done, I've never experienced anything quite like that. So during our next meditation, I was told that this man, Eric, was a physical embodiment of God. Wow. God thought we needed so much help that he landed in this man's body. And I spent several days touring with both of them and learned that Eric's expertise was grounding portals and vortices to the planet. He would sit in the center of a vortex and pray out loud, speaking light language as quickly as anybody could speak. And every time he did this, he generated tons of energy in that place. Okay? FYI, I met 2 other men who I was told were a physical embodiment of God. One's from Hong Kong, the other's from Taiwan. Can't remember that experience, but I do know I gave them each other's emails so that they could talk about their godliness and see where that took them to. Okay. Since 2012, I have met 9 creator deities. The first one was earlier that I talked about, and each one of them has their own area of expertise. One of them actually helped create the physical planet. Another one's main focus was on oceans. Another one's focus, DNA and genetics. And one of them knew that she had assisted humankind to situate themselves on Earth once the Earth was ready for the arrival of humans. I don't recall the other experiences, but I really have enjoyed meeting them and knowing that there's so many awesome beings in human form on the planet at this time. Last month, here's another one. Thoth asked me to channel through me to 2 of my male guests. And whenever Thoth wants to channel for someone, I know they are galactic travelers, just like Thoth. He took us on a galactic journey inside of a large dark spot on the sun, where we met some of the beings who live inside. I know we received downloads, got frequency adjustments, acquainted ourselves with what we need to do at this time, but no way can I remember any of those details. I do know that it was the most empowering guided meditation I've ever experienced, and I've been on quite a few. So afterwards, as we shared our experiences, we all felt significantly shifted, both during and after our journey into the sun. And by the way, it is not as dangerous as everybody thinks it is. Those sun flares are assisting our growth. Do not be afraid. I could go on and on about incredible people, but I've got limited time here. So now I want to describe the oversoul. And I got a pretty basic kindergarten type definition of the oversoul. Imagine a spider's body with different legs or life streams coming out of the spider. And at the end of these life streams is an oversoul component that is a part of you that exists now in this present moment. It's not past life, it's this present moment. And they could be in an extraterrestrial, they could be from this planet, another planet, male or female. And so I've been told that not everyone has an oversoul. Find my place here. Just those of us who have big jobs to do. And so we need a lot of aspects of ourselves to help each other at the same time. So why don't you use your finger wisdom and ask yourself, do I have an oversoul? And if the answer is yes, ask how many components you have. You can only do yes, no, right? So do I have more than 20 oversoul components? Okay, 25, 30, figure out how many you have. So as time, that's your personal information. You can share it with somebody if you want. As time went on, I started channeling my oversoul. And I asked her for a better definition of the oversoul. She said, the oversoul lives within you as that part of you who runs your different physical forms or oversoul components. Those components are aspects of you who are alive now. They're not often aware of each other, and some are more evolved than others. And I asked, well, why do I need to have different forms, physical forms? You've chosen, as have many others, to be of influence in many different areas on Earth and throughout the cosmos. You're here to influence these changing times in whatever way you can. So you've chosen to have multiple life forms that exist during the same time period. Each component has a different purpose, yet they all have similar commitments, and together they can influence more people in less time. I've actually met, I have 36 oversoul components. I've actually met at least half of them. A lot of them I have names for, and I know who they are and what they do. If you think 36 is a lot, a couple of my clients have hundreds. One of them has thousands. All this stuff is information I'm gathering. It doesn't always make sense to my 3D brain, but I just keep gathering it and hoping that eventually I'll learn more. So my oversoul components, some of them are, one, a Telosian woman who has a husband and daughter who live in Telos. She chose to split her life into two separate awarenesses. She's very much aware of her family in Telos, but she also lives inside of my body, and I'm not as aware of her as she is of me. I'm also, another one is a short, full-bodied woman in a Bolivian village who loves to cook. She laughs a lot, is carefree and loving, and likes to help people in need. She's very strong, knows how to say no, and she loves to hike mountains just like I do. Another one is a male extrastellar being who I saw sitting at the controls of a spaceship that was hovering above the Earth. When I first focused on him, he laughed at me. He said, "I spend a lot of time up here, but I don't remember my visits." I met my Arcturian component while I was meditating at a power spot on Mount Shasta. Sometimes he merges with me, and when we become one, we become stronger. Once we finish doing what we need to do together, we separate and go our separate ways. My Druid component usually shows up when I enter a specific portal that I take people to. He's tall, strong, has dark hair, and is a gentle, loving being. He guides me to certain places and shows me what I need to know. And sometimes we merge with each other too. Okay, that's enough about me. I want to focus a little bit more on you. So we are going to do a guided meditation into the golden healing temple of Telos. And I wrote about this in Adama Discourses if you want to do it again yourself. So once again, put yourself in that golden sphere of light. Close your eyes and get ready for a pretty awesome journey. I want you to use your intuitive skills that you just learned to follow what I'm about to describe. And know that it's your intention that guides you. So focus on your viewing screen, listen, and feel what's happening around you. Now envision your conscious awareness going diagonally into the earth toward Mount Shasta, which is pretty much directly behind you. And you can, I have to give you a few details. Before we do this, you are not limited in the same way that you are in your 3D body. You can do things like walk through rocks, fly through the air, breathe underwater. You don't have to talk because it's mind-to-mind communication there. You don't have to walk. You can fly or soar. And some people may just see really cool colors. Some people may just see white light. Some people may feel great love. Others may get really particular journeys that they go on. Doesn't really matter. Just flow with the flow and trust that what you're getting is perfect for you. Even if it's different than what I am describing here, know that your soul is giving you your own personal experience and go with that. Now, you're going diagonally into the earth toward Mount Shasta. As you get down into the earth a certain distance, you find yourself in a cavern that leads directly into the city of Telos, large, round cavern. At the end of the cavern, you'll see a bright light, and that is the entrance into the city of Telos. Someone is waiting there to guide you, so say hello to them and follow their lead. They already know where you want to go. Envision yourself moving forward next to your guide as he or she takes you to the golden healing temple. They'll wait outside for you, outside of the temple until your work is complete there. The temple looks like a large dome that's taller than it is wide. It's golden white in color and is glowing brightly. As you get closer, you begin to hear celestial music that uplifts and enchants those who enter. There are no doors or windows in the temple because the walls are porous and you simply float right through them. As you do so, you notice how thick they are. They seem to be about 4 or 5 feet wide, but they're vibrating in a way that makes it hard to see their exact width. Float slowly through the wall and surrender to its powerful healing qualities as it begins to restructure your etheric body, realign you with all that is, and put you in the inner sanctum of your heart. Allow that realignment to work its way through you. Once you've gone through the wall, you notice that the floor of the temple is made of white light and is less porous than the walls are. So you can either walk on top of the floor or float above it in your light body. There's a huge, wide open space inside of the temple, and in the center, you see a pool of water. There are many other beings there too, taking in the healing powers of the Golden Temple. They're focused on their own experiences, just like you are. You find yourself drawn to that small pool and notice the golden flower petals that are floating on its surface. Their fragrant essence emanates throughout the entire temple. The water in the pool is used for ceremonial anointing or as a potion to lift you to higher heights. The pool guardian offers you just enough water to fill your palm. You can either anoint yourself or drink it, whichever feels right to you. On the inside of the golden walls, there are holographic images of various saints and enlightened ones that hold the frequency and vibration of their dedication and service throughout their various lifetimes, which adds to the power of the temple. There are also many curved rays of energy that are slowly moving in a wave-like fashion through the entire temple, as if they're dancing to their own rhythmic pace. They are radiant waves of harmonic color and light that imprint their healing frequency on those who pass through them. Notice how mesmerizing it feels to walk through the radiant waves as you drink in their wonderful healing qualities. High-level initiations occur in this temple, along with sacred ceremonies, initiations, and more. Ask your intuitive self what you are to do next and follow through on its request. Stay there as long as you feel guided to do so. At some point, you'll begin to feel the energy around you shift or to dissipate, which means your work at the temple is almost complete. Once you're complete, float back through the walls of the temple and notice how some of the essence from the walls comes along with you and remains in your energy field until it's been fully absorbed. Give thanks for what you've received in the temple. The Telosians are always happy when their brothers and sisters visit them. They've been visiting you in your dreams and meditations for a very long time. They want you to know that intention is the key to your return visit. So no matter where your physical body might be, visit them often to rebuild relationships and learn more about each other. Personal experience is one of the best teachers, and they're glad you came to visit them today. It's time to leave Telos now, so give thanks to your guide as he or she directs you out of the city and back into the cavern. As you float through that cavern, focus on returning to your physical body. Once you're back in your body and well grounded, open your eyes when they're ready to open and notice the smile on your face. Enjoy the peacefulness you now feel as the radiance of the golden healing temple still shines within you. It may take some time for you to fully integrate what you received here, so let your intuition assist you in doing that. Feel free to keep yourself in that deep state of relaxation with your eyes open or closed, for I will now channel Maitreya. In case you don't know who Maitreya is, I'll read what he told me when I asked him that question, which is a little on the expansive side. I am one who knows you know and wants to remind you in a gentle, loving way that you've forgotten much of what you know. I am the stars that shine above and the sky that holds them in place. I am the thread of knowledge that links all of creation together in a harmonic, peaceful way, and I know your awakening is inevitable. I am the sun that rises daily, the moon that lights up the night sky. I am the earth below you, the water that flows around and through your continents. I am the one who walks by your side, the one inside of your pregnant belly, the one who sits across the room, tear in my throat, excuse me, the one who sits across the room wondering if you will ever recognize your greatness and hoping that you will before time turns your intellect back into stardust. I am the one who lives inside of you, who wants more than anything for you to be released from the fear that prevents you from expressing all that you already know to those who are anxiously awaiting the release of those precious pearls of wisdom. So now you know who Maitreya is. Give me a moment to connect with his energy. The voice that is coming through you is pure love. For pure love is what we are. We are all here to express that pure love in a sweet, gentle, creative way. We're here to have fun, to enjoy ourselves, to love those we come in contact with, and help those who are saddened for one reason or another. Sometimes we have our low periods. Sometimes we have our high periods. So use your personal expertise to shift those energies as needed, when needed. I look into the faces of the beautiful people in front of me, and I am gladdened by your presence. Your presence is requested here at this time because you belong nowhere else than where you are in this moment. I ask for your full attention. I ask that you feel the energy that is running through Ashelin as if it were running through you as well, for the entire room has been filled with divine, loving presence. How do you know who you are? You simply go inside of yourself and experience it. Go there now, within the center point of your own heart. Feel the blood pulsing through your heart. Feel the energy that keeps your body alive, moving through every single cell that is within your beautiful human form. Feel the air around you and notice that it is charged with divine wisdom, knowledge, creativity. We have come this day to inspire and awaken those who are on the verge of walking into their own ascended state of understanding. And when I speak of ascension, I do not mean leaving your physical form. I mean activating and owning and belonging and becoming all that you are within that form, and using that knowledge, that wisdom, that creativity to make a great difference here on the planet that needs so much assistance at this time. My love for you is endless. I know nothing but love. There was a time when you too knew nothing but love. Please come with me back to that time of understanding and stand in the center of your own conscious awareness as everyone on this planet rises up to understand the truth of who they are. And as we become awakened beings here on planet Earth, each one of you remembers the assignments you have been given before you came into human form. Look closely, for you are being reminded right now what those assignments are. Be true to yourself and follow through on what you agreed to do so many long years ago. For we are here to do nothing else than what brings us great joy and honors and protects the planet upon which we live. I am feeding this divine love energy full force into your hearts. I invite you to sit with it, become one with it, allow its expansive nature to transmute any fears or feelings of lack or being less than what you think you should be, and truly become that true love. Dawn, I've lost track of time. Where are we now? A lot of time?
30 minutes.
Whoa. I went much faster than I thought. Okay. I am truly honored to be in your presence this day. That is the message I came here to deliver. I shall leave Ashelin at this time and allow another being to speak through her. Thank you so much for remembering what it's like to be divine love. Stay in that relaxed state of meditation. For Saint Germain now wants to share some things with you. The ones who sit before me are quite wise beings. I know because I've spent time with many of you in past lives and in different galactic situations. However, the wisdom that truly does live inside of each of you tends to be compartmentalized in certain areas of your physical form. It seems like some of you have not yet learned how to access that compartmentalized wisdom. So I'm going to assist you at this time to crack the safe, shall we say. As many of you well know, one of my favorite tools is violet flame, which transmutes that which holds you back or is of a lower frequency. I would like each of you to envision your entire bodies surrounded in this transmutational violet flame, transmuting any density, negativity, whatever your body no longer needs to hold with it. And in the process of that transmuting, I want to make a special request, and that is that it is able to burn through the doorways, whether under lock and key or hidden beneath very, very heavy earthen structures, to transmute those containers you've hidden your wisdom inside of and open them wide up so that you can once again begin to take advantage of that knowledge. You may feel the violet flame activating a little more powerfully in one level or another. So be it. Breathe through it. Ask for more violet flame to come in and transmute anything that remains of what used to hold you back from knowing all that you are. As that work continues, I am scanning, checking out your seventh chakra, that place at the top of your head that helps you to connect in with the higher frequencies of divine light and love. I ask you all to open up your seventh chakra as widely as it can possibly open. For there are divine sprinkles of light and love and energy, many different colors, many different frequencies that are raining on top of you through the ceiling of your building. And they want to be accepted by you. Some of that energy will come directly into your seventh chakra. Some of it will sprinkle all around your physical form. So allow the cells, your cellular structure, to open widely to accept this gift of love, this gift of you. Notice how that affects your physical form. Notice the peacefulness that comes into your being. Notice the beauty of the planet on which you live. Allow your awareness to come up and out of this room in which you now sit and continue to expand until the love that you are, along with your conscious awareness, expands so large that it surrounds all of Mount Shasta, including the large mountain behind you. This is very simple. It can all happen through your intention. And now allow that loving part of you to expand until it fills the entire planet that you live on. Notice that you are now above the planet with a bird's eye view of that beautiful blue and green globe below you. Now turn around and look out into the cosmos as we continue our journey into the galactic realms. Pay attention to what you see, hear, and feel on this journey, for we are going to a place that will show you much more about who you truly are. You may be soaring very, very quickly. Perhaps your destination is a spaceship. Perhaps it is a star, a sun, a planet, or any of those in a different galaxy than your blessed Milky Way. Know that when you get close to this destination, you shall begin to slow down and feel like you are about to land somewhere, somehow. And what you're about to experience may be very different than what you have ever experienced. But trust everything you see, for you are in the land of truth. Some of you may land with your feet on a planet or a star. Others may be taken inside of that structure to a meeting room. You will most likely meet other beings who also may look very different. These are beings that have known you in the past, and they have called you here today to tell you how much they love you, how much they miss you, to help you remember why you left them so long ago. Say hello to them. Feel their love. Feel the way that love nourishes and expands your conscious awareness. And listen to what they have to say. Some of you may be put in situations where you receive healing. Some of you may be placed in some chair or structure where you can rejuvenate yourself and bring yourself back to a higher frequency. Allow yourself to experience whatever it is before you, even if it's just divine love and peacefulness. Know that you truly are an expansive, multidimensional being. And listen, feel, and watch. Some of you may choose to stay in those destinations until you are fully complete with that experience. But I want you to know that once you are complete there, you will begin to feel the energy dissipate, which is a sign that it's time to come back to your human form. Give thanks and love to the beings who greeted you this day. As you begin to come back toward planet Earth, Northern California, Mount Shasta, back into the building where your body now sits. asking that you remember all that you have experienced and realizing that your life has certainly changed today. Take a step, take your next steps into the future with much more confidence and joy and peacefulness. Dawn, do we have time for questions? Whoa. Does anyone have a question for Saint Germain?
Beloved Saint Germain,
Hello?
heaven high, how's the job going of taking the Cohen out off the planet of Earth right now, please?
I don't understand your question. The job of what?
The Lumai, the Cohen, the negative reptilian beings that are doing the control, manipulation, deception on all levels of government and everything. How's the job of taking them out going right now?
That of which you speak is not an area that I am familiar with. That is not my area of expertise. I assume it's moving forward, but I have no detailed information about that at this time. Is there another question that would like to be asked?
While we were on the journey in the meditation, I started coughing. Was that something that was wanting to be released, needing to be released?
You have a rather large, what I will call, stick in your throat. And he's showing me a picture. It's about this big around and this long, and it's slanted in your throat. That has to do with a curse from a past life. With your permission, I shall help you remove that.
Yes, you have my permission.
You must open your mouth and let it be released. And know that it takes no effort. Thank you. Is there another question?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Still working on it.
Anyone else? I'll come back there. Okay. Okay. Let me do Stephen first. I'll start first.
I've got a past life issue in my kneecap at the present time. So what I would like to know is when will that issue be resolved and erased from this life immediately at this time?
You say a kneecap issue?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I see a picture of him at your knee right now with his hands on either side of your knee. It looks like he's working silently and doing the healing. I'm not getting any words at the moment, but I'll continue to listen. You are very much afraid of who you are in this lifetime, Are you consciously aware of that?
Yes, I'm very consciously aware of that.
So you have created this situation yourself.
Yes,
The healing will not be complete until you put away your fear and welcome the power of that which you are.
right.
That is your choice.
Right. No, yes, I do understand that, but I'm
Okay.
not yet completed yet.
Yes, there are different steps that need to be taken. I just want you to know that that is at the core of the issue.
That,
Is there another question
no.
from someone else, perhaps?
Okay, everybody wants to ask questions now. so-
I just want to tell Saint Germain, thank you for all your centuries of working with me and through me to help other people. I give you my heartfelt love, my heartfelt gratitude, and heartfelt thank you. It's been an honor and a worthy journey with you. Again, I give you my heartfelt thank you. So be it.
If I only had more soldiers like you, thank you as well.
It's beautiful.
Next.
Yes, beloved Saint Germain, I would like to know what's been behind all the falls that I've been taking recently, and why it is damaging nerves like in my foot and my elbow.
Sometimes it takes him a while to answer because he's scanning your field, okay? And he's showing me a picture of you kneeling like at your bed at night praying. And you're praying and you're praying for all this help. Please help me, please help me. But he's showing me that you're not doing anything to help yourself. Still listening. Until you learn to help yourself and gain your confidence, which you lost many years ago. It's like you're, and once again, he's showing me a picture of you in this ball of energy. And you're not going anywhere except bouncing off the walls of this energy field that you've created around yourself, which is in essence all the things you believe about yourself. So until you're willing to open your mind and expand your willingness to be fully present in this moment, you shall find reasons or ways to punish yourself for not being good enough. This is not a past life issue, it's a present time inability to see the truth of who you are. Is there another question?
Humans face the predicament of abrupt climate disruption caused by anthropogenic or human-caused global warming of our planet. And many scientists say that our species, along with many other species, could go extinct.
That will not be allowed to happen.
And indeed, 200 species a day are going extinct, according
And your
to
question
scientists.
is?
What is your thought on this?
The truth of the situation is that the quote-unquote troubles around you have many different causes. Many of that comes from the center of, many reasons for that comes from your inability to focus on the truth of who you truly are and how powerful you all are. You are looking outside of yourself constantly, and in the process of looking outside of yourself, your focus is on what is bad, what is wrong, what is out of balance. The goal is to go inside of yourself, find that balance, that truth, that wisdom, that divine knowledge that you are filled with, and take steps forward, even if it's just one slow step at a time, to begin to change the world around you, even if it's just your own particular world inside your own home. Once that home feels good and comfortable to you, step outside and keep doing the good things to focus your attention on what you can do to support the earth, instead of constantly weeping or crying about the wrongs that have been done to us. Yes, there have been many wrongs, but whatever you focus your attention on, that is what you create more of. I feel our session is complete at this time. I thank you all for your sincere questions and your presence in this moment. And I shall bid you adieu at this moment. I am Saint Germain, at your service. "10 minutes? I can't believe how much time I have up here. I actually timed my speech in the past and cut it back. I have one more story I'd like to tell you, and that is about one of my incredible clients. And I cut that story out because I thought my talk was too long. But once again, I was on a tour, and this time we were hiking on Mount Shasta and stopped to hug these old-growth red fir trees. And I always tell people to send it your love, feel its love, and open yourself up to receive any messages from the tree. So after our hugging experience, I asked my client, "What was your tree experience?" And she says, "It said, 'It's good to see you again.'" Okay, whenever anybody gives me an answer like that, I start asking more questions, right? So I said, "Well, ask the tree, does that mean you lived in the Mount Shasta area? Were you Native American?" And she gets quiet and listens, and she comes back and said, "He told me he was a dolphin when I knew him last. And so was I." We start asking more questions. Tree, a dolphin? What? She is told that she was one of the creator beings, creator deities, who brought the dolphins to Earth. It was her and 5 other creator deities that did that job. And they had to come through 5 different planets. The first 3 planets we weren't able to get names for, but the 4th planet was Antares, and the 5th planet was Pleiades. So all you Pleiadians who said that you feel like you're a dolphin at the same time, this is a little validation for that. And she said, "Oh, wow, maybe that's why I feel so highly charged about what people are doing with the dolphins on this planet now." So one thing I don't think I focused on enough is when you do these spiritual inner explorations and you get information from spirit that you don't understand, you say, "I'm sorry, I don't quite get that. Could you give me a few more details?" Or, "Why did you show me that symbol? What does that mean? What am I supposed to learn from that?" And one of my clients, when she was sharing her experience with me, she said, "Oh yeah, and Buddha showed up." I said, "Okay, well, what did Buddha have to share with you?" "I don't know." "Did you ask him?" "No." "Well, let me tell you, Buddha doesn't show up in your meditation for no reason. So if he does, ask. Or say, hello, Buddha, good to see you again. Now, what do you have to share with me today? Get curious. So I'm thinking we probably have time for a few more questions from the Ashelin part of me, 5 minutes. Anybody have any questions about what I said, Diana? Oh, wait, microphone.
So am I asking Ashlyn or am I asking St. Germain?
You're
this time?
asking Ashelin.
I just wanted to,
I'm sorry, I heard it coming from over there. I'm confused.
I'm here. No, I was going to ask St. Germain or any information you have gotten in your channeling. We have a lot of radiation on the planet at this moment in time, Fukushima, etc. My sense is that there's a positive aspect of that to support the evolutionary process of humanity because we are a species that mutates very well to accommodate and to keep evolving. Has your guides ever mentioned anything about this?
Well, I know we are really incredibly gifted, multidimensional beings who know a lot, but as far as having a specific answer for that, I don't have it.
Sure.
The questions I was hoping for would be about the talk that I just gave.
Oh, it was
because
great.
I know a lot about that, about my tours, etc. Sahadev? Thank you, Diana.
I really want to use your tools about connecting in with the intuitive part of ourselves. Could you just briefly give us a little recap of those so we can take that information with us and use it again? This has been so beautiful, by the way. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Okay. Close your eyes. This is a refresher or something new for those who came in late. We all have the ability to be psychic. Just some of us have not been taught the best way of doing that, and this is a way that works for me. So surround yourself in that sacred sphere of golden white light to raise your vibrational frequency so you can connect with the higher levels of light, truth, love, wisdom, the highest spiritual beings of light. And allow that energy, that gold energy, to touch every single cell in your physical and energy body. Make sure your body is well grounded. The grounding cord I use starts at the first chakra, and you want to make it as wide as your hips, and send that grounding cord of light all the way down into the center of the earth, which you can get to as quickly as you can think about it, since there is no time or space in the dimension we're now working. It's good to have that grounding cord on all the time to help balance out your body and make you feel more comfortable in your skin. Now bring your attention point back up to the center of your head, which is the best place for your attention point to be most of the time. And from the center of your head, I'd like you to focus on what I call your viewing screen, which is out in front of your eyes and nose, where you see pictures and colors when you're dreaming or meditating. Take a moment and clear off that screen of any old stuck energy or fear. Get out your cosmic window cleaner and cloth and wipe it away. It takes no effort. Now, I'd like you to, we're going to ask for a rose to appear on that screen, and I want you to trust your first intuitive sense. I always say there is no doubt allowed on my journeys, because when you doubt things, you close those doors that we're just beginning to open, and you're here to open doors. So notice what color that rose is. How wide open is it? Some of you may see it in a really bright way. Some may see it a little clouded. Maybe you'll just get a gut feeling of what it looks like. Trust what you receive. And to me, that tells, when I do this, that tells me that you are clairvoyant. So thank that rose for showing up and allow it to dissolve. And now ask for your higher self to appear on that screen. Is this what you want me to do? Merge with the higher self too? Okay. And she may show herself to you in whatever way you can best receive her. Maybe as a picture or a color or a symbol on your viewing screen. Maybe you'll hear her thoughts in your head because that's the way Spirit communicates with you. Maybe you'll sense her presence around your body or inside of your body. Notice how the energy shifts when you ask for her to show herself to you. Now, the higher self is that part of you that is Spirit, that has been with you in all your lifetimes, who knows everything about you. She is your intuitive voice. She's like your own personal library. And she needs to become your very best friend, someone you communicate with daily. So notice how she has shown herself to you. And now I'd like you to ask her if she is ready to become one with you. And raise your hand when you got an answer. All right. Invite her to merge with you. And notice what area of your body she's coming into first. You may feel tingling or warmth or coolness, or just see her walk right into you. Welcome her home. Notice what it feels like to have her energy in your space. Some of the comments I get is, I feel more centered, more grounded, much lighter. I feel more powerful, more joyful. If it's this easy to merge with your higher self, to give you those kind of wonderful feelings, I suggest you do that every single day. So this is what I call owning your space. And when you're owning your own space, it's much easier for you to be strong and connected with all that you know. And my timer is telling me we're done. I thank you very much for coming on this journey with me.